Hey, g'day guys, it's Adam from VideoShowMeHow, and in this video we're going to be doing a test. We're going to be doing a review of ECOFLOW's Delta portable battery unit. We'll get stuck into a full overview of the unit, everything that it comes with and how the unit works. We'll run through all the specs and then we'll get stuck into every way that you can get power into the unit, but then also the most important part, how we're going to get power out of it. And then stick around towards the end of the video, we'll be doing a full test. We'll line the bench full of different camping outdoor equipment, but also some stuff that you might use this guy around the house for. So without further ado, let's get started. So here we go. Here is ECOFLOW's Delta unit. There are a number of different types in the range. Stickers are optional. You can definitely find, depending on your application, larger or even smaller versions, and this is a good middle of the road unit. Now, as far as specs of the unit goes, dimension wise, it is 40 centimeters long, including the handles, 21 in depth, and it's about 27 centimeters in height there as well. As far as battery capacity goes, a little bit important when you're talking portable battery units. This particular one comes in at 1260 watt hours. And then as far as lifespan goes for this type of lithium ion, this comes in at about the 800 cycles. This guy, depending on what you're using it for, 800 cycles, you know, you're still going to be getting quite a few years out of it. So who's this for? Who would be after something like this? Who's this going to be suitable for? If you're someone that DIY ain't really your thing and you're not going to be spending, or maybe you don't have time to spend in putting something together, this is going to be a great situation. If you want something that's going to do everything, potentially be home power backup, maybe backup or power, maybe your primary power for a dual battery system in your vehicle when you go camping, for example, running fridges, lights, that sort of thing, something like this is going to be ideal. Now, if you run through how you get power into the device, there's a bunch of different options, which is pretty cool. One of the big things with this is the AC input. So your normal plug here on the side, just like a sort of a PC plug, that guy there is a little bit unique in this segment. They call it an extreme charge. The upside of that is you get up to 1200 watts of power going in. The upside of that is you can charge this whole unit from flat to 80% in less than an hour. So if you think about that, or something you've had in a trip before, this guy here could literally be charged from flat while you're packing for your trip. And by the time you packed the back of the D-Max before your trip, this thing's gonna be fully charged. So that's definitely an advantage. The other way you can charge is via your car. So if we bring it over to the back of the D-Max here, and we do have our cigarette lighter plug here, you're gonna get up to 8 amps. And if we have a look on our output here on the store mod, there's our 8 amps. So it's pulling 8 amps out of our dual battery system to charge this guy up as well. So that's pretty cool. You're gonna get 100 watts in, like we can see, if you're going to be charging from your car. And then finally, the third way you can get power into the unit is via the sun, via solar. And you will automatically get the solar connectors here, the plugs that are designed to fit any of those solar panels. The cool thing with this is it does have a built-in MPPT charger, which is pretty cool. That's going to cover you for a wide range of panels. Now, as far as power out of the unit, good news, it's pretty much got everything. So we can see on the front here, next to our screen on the bottom, we've got a bunch of options. We've got 2 USB-A ports. We've then got 2 USB fast charge ports. We have 2 USB-C ports. They're all the ones on the front, and there's a separate little switch here that you can turn that DC power on or off. On the back of the unit, we have a full 1800 watt pure sine wave inverter that's built into this guy. It is good for 3100 watts in surge. You've got 4 outputs here. And then finally, from a DC perspective, you do have a car outlet, same sort of cigarette plug like you would normally see on a car as well. So you're covering all your bases. You've got DC, we've got AC, and then we have USB plugs for days and a couple of USB-Cs. All right, so that is a bit of an overview of in, out, and who this thing's for. I reckon we get stuck into doing some testing. So let's clear this guy away. Let's get out our devices and let's test how this guy goes in some real world applications. Right, so here we go. Here is our test bench. We're going to have a crack at all of these and see what is what. We'll start with the basics. We've just got your standard, we're going to charge the phone, we're going to charge the camera. We'll move on to some power tools. We've got angle grinder and big circular saw. This comes in at about 800 watts. This guy's more like 1500. We're then going to do some charging. Then we'll get into some camping gear. We'll charge up our aqua heat. We then can move on to Old Faithful. This is our ever cool 80 litre fridge, the dual zone. So we'll get this guy fired up. Then we'll move into some big guns. We've got our Kettle, so we'll see how this goes. Now this is 1850 as far as the wattage goes, so technically a little bit over, so we'll give that a crack, see what happens, and then we'll get on to the big guns. We'll run our EcoFlow Wave. This is a portable air conditioner. But there we go. We will give all of these a test and see how our EcoFlow Delta holds up. So we switch him on. Let's get our phone. That's probably going to be the most common, right? We'll choose our fast charge here. We've got a fast charge cable. We'll plug him in. There goes the phone. There goes our output there. Then we'll get our camera batteries. We'll get them going at the same time. That is the cool thing with this, is you can charge all of these outputs alive at the same time. So you could technically charge everything if you wanted to. We'll see how we go. There we go. We're charging there as well. We're up to 14 watts now. I reckon let's mix it up and charge some DC stuff too. So there's our DC charger. We'll get our DC plug him in. Lights, camera, action. We're working here. See how we're looking at the front. So we're down, there we go. So we can see cars running now. To give you an idea, we've got phone charging, fast charge. We've got camera batteries charging, and we've got this bad boy going, which is drawing up to 3 amps output. Running all of that lot, 95 watts, we're good for about 13 hours non-stop. So bearing in mind, we weren't quite at 100%, but close enough. 13 hours to run all of that lot, full pelt. Obviously, they're gonna be charged well within that time, you'd hope. But there you go, that gives you a bit of an idea there. I reckon now let's move on to, while that's all running, let's fire up some power tools. Now, of course, these guys are AC, so we're gonna have to use our inverter on the back. So we'll flick that guy on. Now we've got a mixture here. We'll start with our angle grinder. If you're on the work site, this one is 800 watts, you can see there. Let's have a look at the front. We'll spin him around. If you turn this guy on, we had about 3 hours non-stop. So with all of this going, well, we could run that non-stop for 3 hours with this guy. So that's a fair whack. But let's fire this guy up, 1500 watts. Let's keep an eye on the dial and see what happens. So there we go, we could see that we were drawing about 1300, 1400 watts out of that. And we were about that hour, about that 50-minute mark of this guy running non-stop with that kind of load, with 1500 loads. So that gives you an idea from a power tools perspective. I reckon now let's move on to some camping gear. Right, so here we have the Aqua Heat. Now this is a lithium powered hot water heater. So we can charge this guy up. We'll see what kind of voltage we get out of that. So once again, plug it into our DC port at the back, and then check it out at the front when we turn this guy on. There we go, we're charging, excellent. Come over here, oh, it's only 18 watts. That's nothing. There we can see, the cool thing is that once again, it's telling us on the display, we've got the car going. So between the camera batteries charging and this guy charging, it's probably why this takes a while to charge, because it's only drawing about that 18 watts. But of course, runs this guy no problems. So next up, I reckon we go with old Bertha here, the 80-litre fridge freezer combo. It is an Anderson plug from factory, but we've got our little converter here to car charger. So we'll spin him around, we'll plug him in the back. So here we go, we can see it's just flicked on. There's the car kicking in. We can hear the fridge slightly running. Quietly, working away. Working on those temps. It's good, it's getting pretty good voltage there, 13 volts, and we're drawing about that 60 watt mark. So to give you an idea as well, we're at 96% and drawing at full tilt. Of course, your fridge isn't always going to be running full tilt with the compressor on. Once it gets down to temp, that's when it starts cycling and it's not using as much power. But there you go. So if it was running compressor on non-stop with the Delta, with this particular fridge drawing 60 watts-ish, by the looks, fluctuating there a little bit, but drawing that, we're getting about, call that 20 hours. Let's move on to the big boy. Let's have a crack at the Kettle before we see if the EcoFlow air conditioner can run off the unit as well. So let's, I snuck this out of the kitchen earlier. So let's give it a go. Now this one comes in at 1850 watts, as you can see there. So technically, it's slightly over. This is a max of 1800. Let's see what happens. So we've got a little bit of water in there, a bit of the old H2O. Let's get the cable plugged in, inverter turned on. Let's see what happens. Let's see whether it draws the full 1800. Flick the jug, and boom, we're away straight away. We're drawing pretty close to 1800, 1790. So that is pretty well full tilt. Well done, EcoFlow. You're not mucking around when you say 1800, you mean it, because there we go. It is running that, no problems at all. Now 40 minutes we are getting. So if you were drawing this guy, or 39 minutes, if you are running this guy flat stick, this is about as close as we can get to a full test, because 1800, 1800, 1800, or thereabouts, that gives you a bit of an idea. If you're running at full tilt, you're getting about 40 minutes before you're depleting your battery. All right, last test. Let's flick that guy off. Let's do a bit of rigmaroling around here. Let's get the EcoFlow portable air conditioner lined up next to this guy and see if it will run just off the Delta. Right, so here we go. I'm pretty keen to see if this works. I don't know if that's official. You can definitely run these guys off the bigger versions of the Delta units, the Pros and that sort of stuff. So let's plug this guy in. Just via our controls at the top, we hold that down, make sure we're in cool mode, full cool mode. Let's crank it down. We'll turn up the fan, and then let's turn down our temperature. There we go, 16 degrees, yes please. Lock that bad boy in. Let's turn our display back on here. We're working. There's the compressor kicking in. Yeah, there you go, it's slowly ramping up. 200 watts. Seems to be settling in there at about 180 watts or so. I'm starting to get cool out of there. Excellent, hopefully that's not too loud for you, but there you go. So we're settling in about 180 watts by the looks, 200. Look like we're peaking at about 230. You're getting about 5 additional hours. So there you go. If you had something like this, you didn't have any extra batteries or anything like that, once again, with that guy running full tilt, it is going to cycle in and out like the rest of those as well once it gets to temp, similar to a fridge and your AC at home. But there you go, at full tilt, if it was running non-stop, you're getting about that 5-hour mark-ish at about the 230 watts. So there you go, confirmed. You can run a portable air conditioner off the EcoFlow Delta. Well, there you have it, guys. That is the EcoFlow Delta. Let me know in the comments down below, what would you be using this for? Would this be a battery backup for your house rather than having a generator, for example? You may use one of these. Maybe it's just camping. You're taking this guy out, maybe running less of these guys and more of sort of these guys, and maybe more of these guys, maybe less of those guys. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? What would you be using something like this for yourself? Now, as always with any other gear that you see on the channel, I try and look after you guys as much as I can. Good news is EcoFlow came to the party and they're looking after us with a bit of a discount code. So that's pretty cool. If you are in the market, you're looking to get something like this for yourself from EcoFlow, make sure you use my link in the description down below. That way you get a bit of a discount and some dollars off on your purchase. Massive thank you to the patrons of Video Show Me How. Your extra support, guys, as always, very much appreciated. But that's it for this video, guys. I hope that you found that helpful. Hit the old subscribe button in the bottom corner for more videos just like this one. And as always, guys, I hope that you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.